we go. As we do have this first match coming on up, is going to be the Terran Spirit coming up against the aggressive Zerg YoungYakov. And Spirit, this is an interesting style matchup because Spirit's definitely one of the most greedy Terrans and one of the more defensive Terrans as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And on a large map like this, it may even favor him. It's hard to say as we are loading on in to game number 1.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Eternal Empire, this is Team TvZ's Red Terran, Spirit.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Eternal Empire, we have the young man himself, the blue Zerg player representing CSO Esports. It is YoungYakov. Uh-oh. I think Spirit heard you.
Yeah. Looks like it's going to be a proxy 2-Rax coming out from Spirit.
3 SCVs, it's 3 SCV. Ah! Animals. So Eternal Empire is, I think, the largest map that we have to work with in our current map pool here for OSC, for the playoffs even. And this is not a bad map to go for a proxy, but an Overlord is on the way.
Yeah, this is 100% going to get scouted, so I hope for Spirit that he does put this third Rax a little bit further out. It does look like it is going to be in range as well of the Overlord, so YoungYakov sees everything he needs to see, and this might be a short game, but actually he pulls back, so wants to keep this Overlord safe from the Marines and won't see that third Rax. This is a very important element of going for a 3 Rax, that you try to make it look like a 2 Rax if you can, but I do think these drones are going to be able to work out what's going on here.
Yeah, here we go. The boys are being pulled here. They're going to be able to try and get on top of some of these building SCVs. Can they deny the second Rax? I doubt it. It looks like the Rax should be able to finish up in time. The control is decent here. It looks like, oh, he's going to be able to get a kill on one SCV.
Oh. Yeah, one SCV goes down. It looks like the second SCV almost going down as well. Might inadvertently drag these drones over to the Rax, but no. Does a good job there avoiding doing that.
Yeah, exactly. And this is a little bit dangerous here. Looking at his vision, he still hasn't taken note of the third SCV. Not yet, is still out of range. So YoungYakov, he doesn't know how committed this is going to be until now.
Beautiful shepherding with the drone as well. But yes, he does see that third SCV now. So he will know that if he wants to, he can give up the natural. But considering how much time he's bought himself, I think he can just fight this.
Oh, yeah, he may be able to. Here we go. He's waiting for the Lings. He's got a couple of Queens on the way as well. He's going to try and go first round. He's going to try and deny these bunkers.
There we go. Nice drone micro. He's going to be pulling away that low health drone. We do see the Lings being sniped out here by Spirit. Does find himself in a little gap. And oh, nice drone drill there. We'll be getting on top of all of these Marines. This maneuver really has it backfired for Spirit. And this is a very efficient cleanup here for YoungYakov. He can just drop it back now that he's denied that bunker. He has the Queen. He has taken out all the SCVs as well.
Yeah, mate, the back-to-back drone drilling. Oh my god, it was beautiful. It was crazy. Do we have another SCV on the way here for Spirit? He's pulling 4 boys. Oh my god, he's giga all in right now. I mean, you're pretty all in when you go for a 3X anyway, but he's refusing to transition, and he really wants to try and make this work.
Yeah, 100%, but it looks like this bunker is going to be going down unless these Marines can buy a little bit more time. There goes the cancel. We do see behind this a spine crawler being made by YoungYakov as well, just to make 100% sure that he is going to be safe here.
Yeah, exactly. And the boys turn back around. They're not going back home. They're actually, okay, no, they're coming back. They're doubling back here. It looks like Young Spirit, he wants to try and maybe even go for a surround. I don't know how this is really going to work, especially because the spine has now finished.
Yeah, there we go. That spine will be moved to the front. So it looks like Spirit going to be fully committing to this, is continuing to make Marines. Unfortunately, a little bit of a supply block there. Does manage to clear that one out, but we'll have a small delay on these Marines, and every second counts here when it comes to trying to find this critical mass.
Oh, God, it really does. And it looks like, there we go, Spirit has finally recognized that this is not going to work. He pulls the boys back home. He's trying to expand on location as well. Still no factory, by the way. That's how greedy his response is going to be. YoungYakov doesn't have eyes on this yet. His Overlord goes straight into the main base to try and see what is going on.
There you go. Those Draxes are going to be getting sent home. Should be seeing the gases being thrown down pretty soon as well. These Queens just going to be poking out, trying to skirmish with these Marines. We do have a good amount of Lings as well. We have a Bane Nest on the way, so Looks like YoungYakov going to be looking to respond to this just with the Bane Bust.
Yeah, he's waiting for Link Speed. Link Speed is going to finish up in 14 seconds.
Oh
He's going to pull the trigger, and these Marines have no support whatsoever. They have no stim, no combat shields. I love this. He's right now trying to wedge himself in between some of these minerals to make sure he can reduce that surface area.
Yeah, YoungYakov just ignores it. He just runs straight on past him. Behind this, Spirit went for a third CC. This is insanely greedy. He has barely anything back at home. Delaying those gases even further. Hits another supply block, and I don't see any way that he can protect the depots against the Bane Bust.
It's over.
Even just against the Lynx.
Yeah, this should just be over. There's zero production back at home. There was no factory. There were 2 CCs. Spirit giga greedy. GG gets called, and YoungYakov takes the first game.
There we go. Maybe a little bit disrespectful by Spirit there, hoping to keep him at home long enough to get away with the greed, but YoungYakov not going to go down that easily and does take the 1-0 lead in this series.
Oh my god. Well played. As you were saying, Spirit, I wouldn't say being disrespectful with his first 3 racks, but definitely with the follow-up, right? With his transition, it was insane, believing that he could get away with not just 1 CC as a follow-up, but the 3rd CC as well. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. But in the end, we do have YoungYakov taking the win, and I think Spirit gonna be looking for something a bit more. What?
What?
Do you want to just start it and see what happens?
What is happening, right? This doesn't make any sense.
This is like a Dota game.
I gotta leave this lobby for a moment.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I think did you click the wrong one?
Did I?
Oh no, you didn't.
It says but it says waterfall.
It says waterfall.
Yeah. Do you want to just jump in and see what happens?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Let's see what happens.
And if it's the wrong thing, can we cast it anyway?
So, of course, for those who don't know, this is a replay cast, and we're going to be jumping into game number 2, but we have a really peculiar, it's what, yeah, okay, it's fine, I guess. That was weird.
You reckon they're going to have hero units?
We'll find out.
As spawning in the top right-hand corner of the map, we have our Polish Terran. In the red, it is playing for Team KyZ, Spirit.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Waterfall, we have his opponent, the Blue Zerg player representing CSO Esports. It is YoungYakov. And just to quickly address some people in the chat are just now tuning in. They're asking, oh my god, we had an older map last game. What's going on? We did mention it earlier, but we do have a bit of a different map pool for this tournament. We still have a lot of the newer maps, like Waterfall, like Cosmic Sapphire, but we also have some older maps mixed in as well, specifically Eternal Empire, Nightshade, and Everdream. They're from the 2019 to 2020 ladder map pool, so a little bit older. For those wondering, the players that are a part of this tournament, the OSC Elite members, they did actually vote for what maps to include. And the reason why we have some different maps is because this was kind of a ruling that was made back before we got our current map pool, back before we knew if Blizzard or ESL would even update the map pool. So this was kind of like a contingency plan just in case, and it's kind of something that's kind of stuck with things, or stuck with this tournament just to keep things fresh map pool wise.
Yeah, there we go. And we do see Spirit this time around on Waterfall is going to be going for a bit more of a standard build.
Oh, there we go. Much more standard build indeed. The Rax is at home. You'll love to see it. Rax is at home, going for the Rax Expand. YoungYakov going for a Hatch Gas Pool. So a much more standard game, as you were saying. Thank God.
Yeah, there we go. Spirit actually going to be skipping out on that scout, so he's just going to be sending this Reaper straight across the map. We should be seeing him start up a second Marine after this next Marine as well, just to be safe, and he can cancel that once he sees that it's not a pull first, but Oh, actually, does he keep the Reaper? Okay, not going to keep the Reaper at home. I was going to say, that would be wild.
That would be wild. For a second, he kept it at home, but there we go. The Reaper is now rushing across the map. Again, relatively greedy play here from Spirit. Scouting-wise, he's kind of gambling and assuming that YoungYakov would open and play standard, and that's exactly what's happening. He does confirm that it is a hatch first, does confirm the lings, the drones, all that good stuff.
Yeah, there we go. Back at home, we are going to be going for a double gas opening here, so not opting for a 3cc. It's just going to be rallying onto this gas as well, so does have a few aggressive options here. A lot of players like to go for Hellbat timings when they open 2cc like this, as you do have a little bit of pressure on you to get some damage. It could also just be a 2cc Banshee that's a little bit more of a safe build, especially on a small map like this where players often go for roaches. And speaking of roaches, we have a roach warren.
There you go. Small maps like Waterfall, small maps like Moondance and Inside and Out, they do favor the aggressive players at time, and the Roach one has been thrown down. YoungYakov has done a great job at just warding away this Reaper. A couple of times the Reaper has tried to go into the main base, but YoungYakov has always been there to push him away, so Spirit is in the dark.
Yeah, unfortunately for YoungYakov, though, Spirit meta-wise has predicted that something like this would be played. It does look like he's going for a 2cc Banshee or even a Marauder Hellbat. Either of these will be fine.
There we go. You were talking about it. Marauders, concussive shell does start up. We're going to have some Marauders defensively back at home. But before that happens, the Roaches are going to be on the way. And even though this push isn't going to kill, it could really cripple. It could maybe even deny mining here at the natural.
Yeah, these builds should roughly cancel each other out. And like you were saying, it is just on Spirit to make sure that he's not taking too much economic damage at his natural for sure.
Definitely. Here we go. The Roaches have been spotted in the middle of the map. Spirit immediately turns around. He's looking to try and wall off actually here on top of the ramp. Bold move. Marauders are on the way. Boys are being pulled to repair and top up those Hellions.
Yeah, there we go. We still are a fair way off with any armory or anything like that. So just be using those Hellions and the Marauders. Looks like YoungYakov committing to the fight, and will have his units surrounded by the Hellions. A little bit, went a little bit early there with the initial Roaches, and we see some nice micro coming out from Spirit as well.
Yeah, very nice micro, nice drop micro as well. It looks like every single Roach is going to get cleaned up here. Did trade with the Hellions, but the Marauders stand strong. And what also is important is that no SCVs were killed.
Yeah, no SCVs were harmed in the creation of this video, as we do see. Spirit going to be macroing on up, does have his Liberator out on the way to get a little bit of extra damage. Looks like he's even going to make a safety Banshee behind that as well. Still waiting to see if he's going to throw it on a 3rd CC though.
Yeah, we have our eyes glued for that. There is a Cloak, there is a Banshee on the way behind this. Liberator is going to be zooming towards that natural base, as YoungYakov is transitioning straight into a lair.
Yeah, very unusual follow-up coming out from Spirit, going for some very late Cloak Banshees. Maybe hoping to just catch YoungYakov unawares, maybe skipping out on spores, being a little bit greedy, assuming that the Liberator's all that's coming.
Yeah, meanwhile, one Queen goes down at the 3rd base. At the same time, Liberator does siege up. There was 0 spores here whatsoever, so YoungYakov is being pulled apart right now.
Yeah, there we go. We see a few of those lavas going down, as well as the Queen and a few drones. And yeah, it does look like that spore is going to be started up. This is why I thought it was a little bit curious that we are going to be having that follow-up Banshee push, but it looks like YoungYakov skipping the spores at his other bases, so these Banshees might do a lot of damage.
They really could do a lot of damage depending on how many spores are made and not made. Meanwhile, YoungYakov tried to go for a bit of a Ling run by, but the wall was a wall. He lost a lot of Lings in the process, couldn't really deal too much damage, and this Liberator is still not dealt with.
Yeah, there we go. We are going to be seeing one more drone going down. A lot of denied mining time here, and you can see Spirit is really getting quite far ahead from this, and this is even before he dips in with those Cloak Banshees.
Yeah, exactly. He's already got his first Banshee out, 2nd Banshee just now meeting it. Cloak is done. And looking at the natural, I don't see any spores. Looking at the 3rd, I also don't see any spores. We only have a spore. We had 1 spore in the main, if I'm not crazy, but yeah, only 1 spore available. Ay.
Yeah, there's no reason to think that this would be what's coming. It's very strange to go from a Liberator into Cloak Banshees to lose so much of your build time on medevacs. Really sets your timing back a long way, but if you can get some good damage with it, it's all going to be worth it.
It really will. At the same time, the Hellions, well, they almost get stuck there. A couple of them are going to go down, but here we go. The Banshees reveal themselves. The Liberator's coming in as well to come in from both angles. Queens are being focused down.
This is a very clever way to go about it. Instead of going for the drones, he's going to take out all the queens, and there's going to be nothing to deal with this Liberator.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing whatsoever. He's forcing YoungYakov to go for a counterattack. The Lings and Roaches are going across the map, but we have units at home to defend as well. At least a handful, not too many, so we'll see if YoungYakov can deal some counter damage.
Yeah, there we go. The Spore gets taken out of the third, so this third is just not going to happen anytime soon.
It's not going to happen, mate, but what do we have at home to defend? We don't have any tanks, we don't have any Marauders either. The Roaches are pushing their way through. The tank now comes out.
Yeah, there we go. The Banshee is back. We have 2 Banshees, so this definitely is on a timer to get some damage with YoungYakov, and with that tank sieging up, that timer has ended. We do see a lot of idle SCVs for Spirit, 10 SCVs going down for him, but 20 drones on the side of YoungYakov, so Spirit looking to find himself in a pretty good position here. The counterattack did tie things up a little bit, but YoungYakov pretty far behind when it comes to the complexity of his army, and no 4th base on the way either.
Yeah, I think, you know, that, oh, looks like 1 Banshee goes down, but that counter damage from YoungYakov was pretty essential here. If it wasn't, or if he wasn't able to accomplish that, then he would be miles behind. He's not as far behind now as a result. He's trying to claw his way back into this. He's trying to saturate his 3 bases. He's doing a decent job at it, but he needs a 4th base, and there we go. Finally, it's being thrown down.
It's kind of looking like he's going to go for a 1-1 Roach all in here, which I'm really not sure about that on this map, because there's some really good defensive tank positions that you can have here.
They really are. We see the tanks getting up and running. We see a sensor tower as well, just to keep an eye on any kind of counterattack. Meanwhile, Double Drop slips into the main base of YoungYakov.
Yeah, there we go. Just abusing the lack of mobility and anti-air when it comes to this composition of YoungYakov, and we're going to see 4 drones going down. A lot of mining time being denied once again, and there are so few queens here after that early game that I think with these last few being sniped out, it's going to be really difficult for YoungYakov to deal with the drop player.
It really is. 1 queen goes down. Can he get the 2nd queen as well? Looks like he barely will not, but he gets 9 more drones. YoungYakov really struggling to keep up with all this aggression. We see another drop here on the right-hand side, clearing up all the creep that YoungYakov has been trying desperately to spread. And that timing, that 1-1 timing you were talking about, like, I feel like if there was a window, it's closing. But
yeah, and there we go. We do see as well, Spirit actually going to be pulling ahead in the workers.
yeah, he's pulling ahead in the workers. He's got 2-2 on the horizon as well. YoungYakov isn't droning, though. He's still making nothing but roaches. He's going to be going for 1 big push through the center of the map. But look at how many tanks we already have ready for Spirit.
Yeah, Spirit even has a bunker at his third. He's got this sensor tower as well. I really don't see a world in which this gets damage.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he can try and find an angle here. The Marines, they stim on forward. Wild zone them away, but oh my god, the tank shots!
Yeah, absolute meat grinder, and that should be GG. There we go.
GG, well played. Spirit fights back here and ties up the series 1-1.
Yeah, there we go. YoungYakov just taking way too much damage at the start of the game there from the Banshees, from the Liberator, and realizes that he has to go all in from there. And the all in doesn't quite work out, but a good game between these two.
Oh, yeah. Great game between the 2 players. And now we're going to see who's going to be able to take a lead in this series. It's a best of 5, so we still have at least 2 more games ahead of us. But now we get to see who gets the momentum in the series, who's able to break away from the pack.
I want to break free.
I wanna break free.
That's all I know.
That's all I know. I was waiting for you. I was waiting to see if you knew the rest of the lyrics. I don't know them.
As we do have spawning up here in the top right-hand corner, looking to break free in this tie between these 2 players. It is Team Kai's Spirit.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Inside and Out, we have his opponent, the Blue Zerg player representing CSO Esports. It is YoungYakov. here we go. A bit of a stranger game number 2, but I mean, it's Waterfall, you know, it happens, right? Like, how do you resist the urge as a Zerg player to go for a roach push, you know?
Can't keep it in, puppy.
You can't keep it. You need to let it free, puppy. You need to let it free.
Actually, I kind of just think roaches are awful. I think they suck.
They do, but like it's all we have. What do you want?
What? Who you have?
No, I agree.
That's news to me.
I'm of the mind that I feel like these like early roach pushes, they almost feel like when Terran go for like early Hellbat pushes. You know, it's like,
yeah.
Why are we doing this? What's happening?
Yeah.
You know?
It's just that you just want them to work. It's so nice in theory.
Yeah. It's like, but what if I deal damage? Yeah, but I mean, it's not gonna happen.
You do see it from Spirit going for another very greedy opening. Actually going to go Marine first into his expand for a slightly faster factory.
Oh my god, yeah, exactly. Going to be delaying or skipping his Reaper, going to be skipping an SCV scout. He just doesn't give a damn what YoungYakov is doing right now at all.
Yeah, no respect at all. He is going to be looking to get that reactor down, so it's going to be some slightly faster than usual Hellions, and we do have a second gas being thrown down as well.
Yeah, there is that second gas being taken, so it's looking to be like to go into a 1-1-1. Back across the map, YoungYakov, he just goes for his third hatchery on time as well. We've got our queens on the way, nothing too crazy from our Zerg player. We'll just see if he does end up pulling back into gas a little bit earlier, going back into roach production, something along those lines. Oh.
Yeah, there we go. We do see a starport being thrown down as well, so with this slightly faster Hellions, I wouldn't be too surprised to see Spirit maybe going for a 2 or 4 Hellion dive as well. As we do see that Tech Lab being started up on the rack. So once again, either going into a Hellbat build or maybe going into 2cc Banshee. I wouldn't be too shocked if he maybe goes for this Hellbat build once again, since he didn't really get to do it that last game.
Yeah, I'm curious if he's going to go for Marauders again. Like, just like the previous game, we saw that he had initial plans that he didn't go for, and there we go. There are the Marauders.
So we're going to be having that Marauder being started up. We see a very early medevac as well, so not going to be opting for the Viking, just going for a slightly earlier timing here. And we don't quite have the gas for the armory yet, but that should be on the way.
It should be on the way behind this for a Hellbat Marauder push. Meanwhile, YoungYakov is still in the dark about this. He was able to get a scout on the production earlier when it comes to at least the factory. He's fully aware of the Hellions as they move out across the map as well. But he needs to see more than this. He needs to recognize that he needs more queens, more lings, more army.
Yeah, medevac finishes on up. We are going to see that second Marauder being completed as well. So, yeah, I guess he goes with the timing a little bit before the Hellbats are ready.
Oh boy, yep, there we go. He's already going to be zooming across the map with his Marauders. Overlord is going to dip on in and is going to be able to scout the 1-1-1 with the Tech Lab on the starport for the follow-up Banshees, or at least what he's faking to be a follow-up Banshee. I don't know if he's going to really commit. And the Hellions are across the map.
Yeah, there we go. So we are having the Hellions fully committed there. They're going to be getting these Marauders dropped on top of these Queens. So especially with the Queens split up, this does have a lot of potential for damage. That first Queen going to be going down right away. And with that armory finished up, we are able to morph into Hellbats. So definitely a very fast timing coming out from the Spirit. A good 15 seconds earlier than this build normally hits, just because you skipped that Viking.
Yeah, and 2 Queens go down. It looks like a 3rd Queen is going to go down as well. This is hitting so fast, and YoungYakov was in the middle of droning when it was first revealed here. Bailey Nest is done. Bailey's going to be morphed in, but it just may be too late.
Yeah, a lot of these Queens going to be going down. We do have Bailing's Lings on the way, ready to defend this, but this only really needs to kill a good handful of Queens to get value here.
Yeah, it doesn't have to straight up end the game. Here we go. The Bailings waddle on in. Not the best connections, though. Only really get 2 of those Hellbats, and the Hellbats they continue to push on forward. We don't have a lot of Queens right now. Lings are being slowly flooding on in. More Bailings roll in as well. Ooh.
Yeah, nice splits there. Every single Bailing going to be going down. We just have those Lings remaining, and every Queen went down there for YoungYakov. So Spirit finds himself in a pretty good spot here, and he even has these Banshees coming in with no anti-air available for YoungYakov.
0 anti-air. He scouted the follow-up earlier. He's going for a Link counterattack actually instead, but the wall is a wall. Queen pops out in time, but there is no detection at the third.
Yeah, there we go. We're going to be having a lot of these drones going down as Spirit does, you know, chase them on. We have the spores finishing up in every base here, so YoungYakov should be a little bit safer than he is last game, but Spirit will just be able to sit here, pick off some of these gas drones, maybe catch some transferring drones as well, maybe even put a bit of damage on that Queen.
Yeah, exactly. This is all just with one Banshee. A second Banshee is coming across the map as well. YoungYakov, he needs to re-drone desperately here. He didn't lose too many or any workers to the Hellbat push, but it was really the Banshees that were able to just really seal the deal.
Yeah, absolutely. These Queens are going to be shooting away the Banshees. We do have that Overseer being started on up as well. So looks like YoungYakov is going to be safe to progress into his later game. We do have this force being thrown down at a very nice time for him as well. So not going to be kept off that like he was last game.
Yeah, exactly. He can still recover, but Spirit isn't going to take this lying down. He's got a lot of Hellions to work with. These soon-to-be Hellbats are rushing towards the third base, and so far they've been undetected. Now they do get spotted here by those, by that Overlord. It looks like YoungYakov's trying to get in position. Ugh.
Yeah, there we go. Those Hellions going to be wedging themselves in. 9 drones go down, so very good damage already. We do see these nice Evo chamber blocks. We'll be confirming that these Hellions do go down, but with the Hellbat morph, they should be able to get a little bit more value here.
Yeah, a little bit more value. It looks like 12 drones in total as both Banshees dip in towards the natural base. Like, he is pulling YoungYakov apart right now.
A lot of Banelings being expended to clean that all up, and yeah, these Banshee's going to be getting some more damage. Nice little attention to detail from YoungYakov, pulls away the transferring drones as well.
Yeah, but despite that, he loses 19 more drones. I'm afraid to look at the units lost tab here, but we have lost 28 workers in total for our Zerg player.
Yeah, but you answer the question yourself. He's a Zerg player.
Oh,
it doesn't matter.
It's true.
He's drawn through the pain.
He was always dead.
You do see he is actually still a little bit ahead on the work. He's probably not quite where he wants to be. Probably want to be a little bit further ahead than this, but really not out of this game.
Yeah, I mean, he desperately needs to try and catch up right now. He's throwing down both of his Evo chambers. He needs to get into his upgrades. He needs to get into a 5th base. He needs to work on his creep. These are all things that are lacking a little bit, and Spirit is not letting him get comfortable. He is moving out across the map, not just with Hellions this time, but with Marines, with tanks.
Yeah, meanwhile, it looks like YoungYakov committing to a bit of a counterattack. He was just paused there on 68 workers for a while, but we do see his Banshees nicely positioned here by the run-bys. For the run-by, he's going to be taking out these Banelings as Baneling speed finishes up here. But Spirit with these tanks in a nice position.
With a very aggressive position, actually, so the tanks are going to be going down here, but it looks like he gets the majority of those Banelings. There's only 3 left, and the Marines can push on forward. Oof.
There we go. We have those Banelings finishing up here for YoungYakov. Combat Shield still just a little ways off finishing for Spirit. We do see him dancing back and forth with the Banelings, showing off his speed there, trying to skirmish with those Queens.
Oh my god, how good's the target firing? Yeah, it was okay, but we got a decent connection towards the end there. YoungYakov, he is looking to try and stabilize, but the Banshees, they just come in once again. We don't have any mobile detection whatsoever, so they just zone out the Link Bait, and in come the Marines.
Yeah, those Banshees have picked up a lot of Baneling kills here, and looks like this 4th is going to have to be given up.
Yeah, and we can't really afford to give up the 4th base right now. Oh my god, the target firing once again from those Banshees. He kills even more Banes.
Yeah, there we go. Every drone going to be going down here at this base as well. YoungYakov not pulling those away early. Not really wanting to give up that base there, maybe being a little bit stubborn. And GG is called. Spirit with a nice build and a nice win.
GG. Yeah, unfortunately, YoungYakov wasn't able to get a scout off at the start of the game. He wasn't able to confirm what was happening. He was droning as the Hellions were coming across the map. He didn't have his Queens together either. He didn't know what was happening till it was already in his face. And things really did snowball from there. It was really cool to see that there were like facets to that play as well. Like the follow-up Banshees. I mean, the Banshees themselves were the real MVP that game. Like they survived throughout the entire game. They didn't die towards the end either. It was crazy.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. As I'm just marking that replay. I will be saving that one.
Oh, animal puppy. Disgusting. Disgusting.
Almost looks like a Hellbat build is going to work.
Oh my god. Yeah, it was there was definitely a lot of thought put behind that build, and it really does look a little bit scary. Again, if unscattered. Oh. But with that, we're going to be moving on in this series. Spirit, one game away from taking the best of 5, from moving on in the brackets. YoungYakov, he's up against the wall, Papi. He cannot lose this game, otherwise he is eliminated from the tournament.
Yeah, there we go. Spirit coming into this one as a favorite, also with this 2-1 lead. So YoungYakov with his back up against the wall, but he's gotten himself here with some great play, and I'm sure he has much more in store where that came from as we spawn in on Everdream.
Oh, here we go. One of the older maps in the map pool. We saw Eternal Empire earlier, and now we get to dream forever, Papi.
As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, dreaming of a 3-1 win, this is Team Kai's Spirit.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Everdream, we have his opponent, the Blue Zerg representing CSO Esports, up against the wall. It is YoungYakov. Oh boy. YoungYakov just wants to play out a game, Papi.
No, he doesn't.
He did last game. He just wanted to drone. But we'll see. We'll see what Spirit has in store for us, because again, he has been quite fond of that Hellbat Marauder push, that Hellbat Marauder build. Would he do it again?
Oh,
Oh my god.
I think this is my animal build.
This is some fast gases, Papi.
Yeah, double gas. Very unusual in this matchup. So the only build that I know that this does that comes off this is a Hellbat Marine 1 base all in.
Oh. Is this the build you used to beat Chase?
Yeah, it is.
I've heard of this build. Oh my, it's disgusting.
Or GG does it sometimes.
Oh, of course he does. As we do see, there we go. The Vrax into factory. Very fast gases here. Spirit. A bold move whipping this out on Everdream. It's not the smallest map. You know, we do have a pretty straightforward attack path here, and yeah, the Overlord is going to be dipping on forward.
There he goes. So he does have a small adjustment that he makes to this build as well. Going to be going for that fast reactor instead of the 2 Marines. So we should be able to see some faster Hellions coming out. So instead of the usual 5 Hellion timing, we should have 6 Hellions for this timing. And it hits very early, I think around 4 minutes.
Yeah, you can argue not as safe as he doesn't have 2 Marines, but regardless, that 1 Marine does the job of pushing that first Overlord away. YoungYakov is going to be in the dark. He does have 6 Slings on the way though, and upon recognizing the lack of Reaper, he's going to be moving out across the map, and he's going to try and piece together what the hell's going on.
Yeah, this is not only not safe, this is just, it's just straight up GG against pull first. Like, you just leave the game if you see pull first.
Oh my god, but we've seen Spirit's openers, we've seen how greedy he is. I guess YoungYakov, he knows him, and he knows that he just doesn't go pull first.
Yeah, there we go. So we do have this Marine sat out here with those extra Hellions. Should be able to clean up these Lings quite easily. We do see YoungYakov just going to be tucking tail, turning around. We do have this Overlord coming for the Scout, but I don't know if that's going to get there in time.
Yeah, we'll see, as once again, we got Concussive Shell, we got the Marauders on the way behind this, and oh boy, I mean...
This build's disgusting. I've never seen this variation. I'm 100% going to start doing this.
It's with an armory as well, oh my god.
Yeah, it's Hellbats, yeah. But normally, the build that I know that's like this, you move out with, it's 5 Hellions, 4 Marines, and you bring some SCVs for auto repair. But it looks like instead he's actually going to be doing the same Marauder build and going into Banshees off the back of this as well. This is actually crazy.
He's going for the add-on switch all off of 1 base. Oh my god, there is the cloak. Spirit's pushing out across the map. Again, YoungYakov did scout the earlier Hellion, so he should recognize that something is going to be coming his way faster than normal. He has a couple of Queens already in position here, but he has to be careful.
Yeah, he has no idea what this is coming so early. His Baneley Nest is early, but it is nowhere near early enough. We just see his Hellions putting down a bit of damage here as they are going to be morphing in. So we have that 6 Hellbat timing. Marauders are going to be putting some damage on the Queens. Looks like some good micro as well. Just gets himself into the gap there. Nice pickups on those Hellbats. Going to be saving them.
Oh my god, yeah, he does rotate over. All the Lings get completely roasted, and now the Marauders can go ham on these Queens. They're going to attempt to anyway. So far, so good from YoungYakov. We have a couple more Lings on the horizon here, and it looks like he should be able to clean this up.
Yeah, there we go. We'll just be flooding on Lings behind this, and it looks like this was not effective here by Spirit. Even with the Banshees coming in undetected, putting on some drone damage, it is not going to be enough to get him back into this game. YoungYakov can just rebuild those drones.
Yeah,
and there's no continuation here by Spirit.
Exactly. The problem is that Spirit is on one base. That's the problem. It's going to be so difficult for him to expand from this position because of all of these Lings. Lings won't necessarily kill him, but again, they're just designed to deny that natural base. The Banshees, they go across the map. They're going to find a Queen, though, here at the third base.
Why you have to go BCs, puppy?
Is that what you're going to do when you try this? So you're like, no.
That's what I did.
True, true. Oh my god. As the Banshee gets a second Queen, but...
Oh. That Banshee going down very rough here. Looks like Spirit just been diving on in with 6 more Hellions here, but it looks like YoungYakov, he is taking this seriously. He has more than enough Lingbane to deal with this, and not really droning up his third yet. Just wants to make sure he's safe first, seeing as he hasn't really seen a natural. He also has a lair on the way. If he can start to look at getting into muters, this game is just over.
Yeah, we even have some safety spores being thrown down. This time it will not be caught unaware as the Banelings are rolling on forward as well. The Hellbats are trapped. They do find their connections here. The Queens are going ham, and the Hellbats are going to be able to get a couple of drones. Don't get us wrong, but not too many.
Yeah, 3 drones go down. We do see some more Banshees coming on over. They don't really want to overextend here because they can be taken out pretty quickly by the Banshees. They do 2-shot Banes, but with the extra Queens here, with the drones, Ling's on the way. He's even droning at this point, and the natural for Spirit's not even, it's just over halfway done.
Oh my god. We'll see if he can get up and running. Meanwhile, the Hellions, they try to dip on in, but oh, they're going to get surrounded. As a result, they all get cleaned up. GG gets called, and YoungYakov ties up the series 2-2.
There we go. So Spirit getting a little bit cheeky, a little bit silly with the build there, and does get punished by YoungYakov. YoungYakov, no pushover, not going to be taken out by anything like that. And we do have a game 5 on our hands.
Hey, you can't clown him, Poppy. What's going on? But really interesting nonetheless, the build that Spirit did whip out there on Everdream. Oh boy, but because of that, we're going all the way to the ace match. We are going the distance.
There we go. We have our ace match. We have our final match of tonight. It's going to be a TvZ between these two players who, before tonight, I wouldn't have said were too evenly matched, but it looks like Spirit with some kind of weird builds, YoungYakov with good adaptability. We are having a pretty close match between these two.
Yeah, there you go. Even confirmed.
As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, this is Team TvZ's Polish Terran in the red. This is Spirit.
Oh, I just realized I've been introducing him wrong this entire time. I do apologize. Aye. But spawning in the top right-hand corner of Data Under the Sea, we have his opponent representing CSO Esports. It is YoungYakov.
Have you?
On casting tool, he was set as Team Liquid because of mana earlier.
Oh.
Not Kaisi.
I see.
Yeah, so I do apologize, but it has been fixed for the game that we're not going to cast next because it's the ace match. But I do apologize if you are a Spirit or a KaiZ member. I do apologize for that. As we are getting into our games, and Spirit going for a CC first.
Yeah, there we go. So this is more what I expect from Spirit. Comes down to ace, game 5 comes down to the ace match, and he is going to go for his tried and tested.
Yeah, exactly.
Brings out the ace strats.
We've seen this time and time again. The punish is never real, papi. As it's going to be a little bit more economic. Meanwhile, YoungYakov, I almost called him Yaku, himself is going for a hatch gas pool. We haven't really seen him divert from this. Some pretty standard openers all around. We have seen him throw in a couple of early roach warrens though, so he's willing to be a little bit more aggressive, but for the time being, standard.
Yeah, there we go. It's going to be a 2-on-1 CC first coming out from Spirit. So this is a build that's been gaining in popularity lately. It's a bit of an old school build, but the Koreans especially have been picking it back up.
Yeah, we have seen Gumiho whip this out in the ESL Open Cups. I think we may have seen Bjorn do this as well. I can say Gumiho for certain, as we do see Spirit whipping it out here as well. Oh boy, we'll see if YoungYakov can get an eye on this. We'll see if he can respond in kind. This kind of opener, this kind of build, does the 2-on-1 hit faster, or how does that work?
No, it's a bit later. It's a little bit later than a normal 2cc.
Okay. Fair enough.
I think so. It should be, because the Raxes are delayed, so the Starport should be delayed. I think it's like 10 seconds later, but we'll see.
Unless we move out without the medevac spot.
I know.
Oh god, as the Overlord just dips on in for a moment there, we're just continuing to drone. We do have our tech labs on the way. Again, just working towards our 1-1-1 opener. Our 2-1-1 opener.
Yeah, there we go. So Stim being started up, should be seeing that factory being thrown down any second now once he gets a gas for it. And I do think that normally I would expect this to go into a 2-base all-in, but considering it's Spirit, he does actually like to play 3cc quite often off of these builds, and I wouldn't be too shocked to see him trying to sneak out a 3rd CC out of this.
Yeah, we'll keep our eyes peeled for that here. Spirit is working up. He's got the minerals for it, and there we go. There's that 3rd CC.
Yeah, so definitely a little bit unusual in this position to go for that fast 3rd CC, but Spirit definitely does prefer to go for these fast CCs out of CC first builds. Something that's a little bit different about how he likes to play the CC first.
Yeah, it's something that makes Spirit a little bit unique amongst some of the other players, despite how aggressive he's been this series. You know, when he does open up like this, he is being quite more economic. It is going to kind of delay his overall push, as we were talking about earlier when it comes to the starport timing. But likewise, oh my god, YoungYakov is going for a Roach Warren.
Yeah, so that Roach Warren should be pretty effective when it comes to pushing this back. Doesn't really cause the game to end or anything like that. You still need to keep those Roaches at home to help defend, and they will be run around by the drops, so they do kind of cancel each other out in that way, but it does mean that he's not really in any immediate danger. So this works out nicely for Spirit that he's going for a 3cc rather than for the more committed 2-base version of this.
Exactly. There's not as much pressure on Spirit to deal damage with the 2-1-1 because he has a fallback plan with that 3rd CC. So again, he can just kind of poke and prod, trade with the Roaches when he can. We do have confirmation as well from YoungYakov looking at his vision. He did see the CC timing as well, so he knows about the more economic variant from Spirit.
Yeah, there we go. This is like 10-15 seconds later as well, as we do have these medevacs popping on out now, so we will have this 2-on-1 moving out across the map.
Oh, there we go. Is zooming out across the map. We have our gases being taken. Roaches are on the way. Again, YoungYakov is fully aware of the 2-on-1, so he should be getting enough to defend, and Spirit is going to be taking his time anyway, clearing out these overlords out in the middle of the map.
Yeah, there we go. So just a small little move out here. He's going to be looking to clear up a little bit of creep, clear out some overlords, force some units out of YoungYakov. And for YoungYakov, we do see going for a pretty fast lair behind this. He is going to be looking to get that 4th up soon as well and just deflect this push, which he does quite well there.
Yeah, does force it back, does force the lift up into the main base. What do you have to react? We do have 2 queens. The focus firing on the medevac, but the medevac will barely up. Oh, not survive.
Yeah, it doesn't survive, but 2 queens going down there. Not the worst trade. I'm pretty happy with that if I'm the Terran in this situation. And we are just going to be trading out 7 drones going down.
7 drones and a queen for just a medevac as well. And those marines, well, a great trade here from Spirit. Meanwhile, we do see another drop here towards the northern portion of the map, clearing up some creep.
Yeah, and look at that. Behind this, we do have Spirit getting that third up. He's going to be throwing down a few bunkers as well. Just recognizes the potential for a counter attack coming out from YoungYakov. He hasn't seen a fourth. He does see a build-up of roaches here, so definitely wants to make sure that he's safe back at home.
Oh my god, meanwhile, another queen just went down in the main base. He goes for the dive into the mineralizer. The target firing is insane. Ooh. Look at how many drones are going down.
Yeah, his drones are getting shredded. YoungYakov really being punished here for the lack of anti-air.
Oh my god, and this just may be a little bit too much. He meets up with the drop in the main base. Oh, he is deflected by these roaches for the time being, but he's forcing a reaction out of YoungYakov. We still don't see a fourth base. We saw a little bit of droning, but only a little bit. YoungYakov is more concerned with making roaches.
Yeah, behind this we do see Spirit setting up. He even has a turret here in case it's borrowed roaches, so just playing things extremely safe here, getting that sensor tower on the way. Should be seeing a fourth base coming down pretty soon as well.
There's no way this gets broken. We got 4 tanks, we have missile turrets, we have sensor towers, we have bunkers, we have SimCity, we have our Marines. YoungYakov tries to push up the ramp, sees how fortified and entrenched Spirit is, but like he has to commit to the all-in. Like he doesn't really have too much to fall back on.
Yeah, YoungYakov in a really rough position here. Does take that first tank volley. He's going to be morphing that into a Ravager. All the tanks are on the low ground, so there is a little bit of potential to start taking them out with Ravagers if the control is good. We do see the commitment now, and all the Ravagers getting focused down.
Oh my god, they don't even get that tank as well with the death of those Ravagers. That may be the death of his chances in this game. He backs on up, he gets back into droning, but there's still no fourth.
Yeah, we see that double scan going down, checking for the fourth, and with no fourth spotted, Spirit should be feeling extremely comfortable in this position. Might even delay his own base just in favor of unit production and the 2-2, but there we go. The fourth is well underway. We have the 2-2 on the way as well. We do have a little bit of a drop being split off as well, recognizing that with the 5 tanks with the bunkers is pretty safe at home, even making some Marauders just to help trade out with the roaches.
Yeah, we saw how much damage Spirit's drops did earlier. We'll see how much they'll do now, as YoungYakov does have control of the Zelnaga, so he does actually spot those medevacs on the way. He is repositioning his main army in towards the main base. At the same time, we have a push coming right through the middle, going to be catching some of these creeping queens.
Yeah, there we go. With that concussive finish up, going to be tracking down the queens. 2 of those queens go down. The creepy is completely pushed back. The drop is going to be deflected here in the main. But yes, Spirit, realizing that there's still no fourth finished up, is in no rush to get damage. Just going to go for low commitment pushes here and take whatever comes to him.
Yeah, he's got 2-2 on the way. He's working on more of his tanks as well. That tank count is getting terrifyingly high. So once he does move out, it's going to be nigh impossible to stop here. YoungYakov is still on Roach Ravager. He does have Bailing speed on the way though. He is transitioning into Ling Bane.
Yeah, it looks like the time has come to move out. Spirit just going to be poking on out with these tanks, trying to knock down these rocks, find a central position. Does get this drop caught out a little bit on the right there. We'll be losing a little bit of his bio, but he just dwarfs the supply of YoungYakov here.
Oh, he really does. YoungYakov has to do the best he can to slow down this push, to try and maybe get a couple of bios off, to try and force some sieges to slow this down and make enough Bailings. Not just make Bailings, but also buy time for Bailing speed.
Yeah, but there we go. We do have this massive tank spread. We have some nice splits. One of the tanks going to be going down there. No pickup by the medevac, but looks like Spirit just going to be charging on in here. Doesn't even siege up until he reaches the base.
Oh my god, the Bailings roll on forward, but again, they don't have speed. They all go down. The tanks go ham on the army, and the bio, they just stim on forward.
Yeah, there we go. We'll be churning through everything that is here to defend for YoungYakov. This is, of course, the end of the best of 5, so he will be holding on as much as he can. He doesn't want to go down here without a fight, but with this bio pulling back with the medevacs there, still with a decent amount of energy. A lot of medevacs here as well. He will be able to heal this all back up and start pressing forward with the tanks. YoungYakov calls GG, and Spirit wins the best of 5.
GG, well played. Spirit taking a very, very dominant game there with an interesting start to things, going for a bit of a greedier opener, and the drop play was impeccable. YoungYakov was trying his best to keep up with his queens, with his lings, with his roaches, but barely couldn't. He was just completely pulled apart. Oof.
Yeah, there we go. Completely pulled apart and very effective play coming out from Spirit. Kind of feels like at the end of that game, he says enough mucking around. I want to do what I do best, play that CC at first opening, and very effective there. Quickly finds himself with an insurmountable lead.
Yeah, GG, well played. A much more straight up standard game from Spirit. Really being able to flex his skill and show off to the people watching, show off to us as well, that he just doesn't have to go for these weird one base all-ins or these Hellbat Marauder pushes. He is much more, he has a much more breadth to his play than that. And yeah, really showing off here, is able to take the series 3-2.
Not just a pretty face.
Not just a pretty face indeed. GG. Spirit moves on to face Cristiano in the lower bracket. We were able to cast Cristiano earlier today, so they'll be facing off in the next broadcast. Who's gonna cover that? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure, as we will be having a look at the Wikipedia page. Shout out to Cynical Death in the chat. He has been doing some live updates to the Wikipedia page. And yeah, we do see that we have been able to cut the fat a little bit, and there are only a handful of players left in the tournament.
Yeah, there we go. So we really are progressing quite quickly through the end of this tournament. And we do have that bracket there for you. So yeah, down in this lower bracket, we've got Gerald, Mana, Trigger, Skillus, Cristiano. Well, no, Cristiano X Striker we've already cast. So Gerald, Mana, Trigger versus Skillus, and Cristiano versus Spirit. So a couple of PvPs up the top there, Cristiano versus Spirit. And then if we have a look over at the upper bracket, we have some high caliber players here, some of the top players around. Beyond versus Cure in that TBT, and then Solar versus Neeb in a very intriguing PvZ.
Oh, exactly. Some high caliber players there. Again, for those wondering, this was our first day covering the OSC midseason playoffs, but usually this is casted by Wardy or by Steadfast or by Dave Testa, you know, some of these other community casters. We were lucky enough to get a day of this. I don't know if we're going to cover more. It's up to Eddie. I believe Wardy was unavailable, and again, you know, Wardy, he's got the viewers. So I'm sure he's going to be covering at least the upper bracket here. But yeah, we had a great day of StarCraft today. A lot of variety, some cheese, some macro play. We had a lot of fun. I know you weren't here for it, but we even started the day with me and Micah. Me and Micah had some great games as well.
Oh, always love to see a bit of me and Micah.
Always, Papi, always. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you so much, everyone, for supporting us as well, supporting the players. It's been a great time here tonight. A bit of a longer broadcast, but we did start early because of it. And look, mate, it's not even midnight here. It's not even midnight.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
There we go. Some great games.
Great games. So yeah, thank you so much, Asher, for joining me. Massive shout out to Yakuzaku as well. He was casting with me earlier today. He casted the first half. So yeah, putting in a lot of work. He does have an exam tomorrow, and it is open book. It is open book, so it's not as difficult as it could be. But yes, he is getting ready for it. He's getting ready for it.
All right. Well, good luck with that.
Yeah. Best of luck to Yaku, as he is going to be studying for tomorrow. And I hope everyone in the chat had a great time. Asher, where can people find you, Papi? Where can people find some quality Terran Smoge on Twitch?
Twitch.tv/SC2Fool.
Oh no. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But where else can they find it, Papi? Where else can they find it?
Twitch.tv/Jadolf. Or AsherBro, if you must.
Oh, I see two fools in the chat.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Get that Jamie sausage in the chat. But yes, you can follow AsherBro, my lovely co-caster. He streams on almost a daily basis. He was actually streaming just before the cast as well, so you can check him out there. He's a lovely Terran player. He's an animal, but he has a lot of fun with the chat. Laddering sometimes. We have a great time. Right.
Where can they find you, Lair? Yes. Yes.
Oh god. Follow me at light_VIP on Twitch and Twitter. I stream throughout the week as well. I didn't stream today because I knew that we had a really long cast, so just saving my energy for the broadcast. But if you're interested, yeah, you can follow me on my own personal Twitch channel. I do some ladder sessions. I play Final Fantasy 14. I play maybe some Spider-Man, some single-player games, you know, a little bit of everything, but mainly StarCraft ladder, as we're trying our hardest to break into Masters 2 and to learn how to play against Terran. It's a process. It's impossible. But I'm trying. So you can follow me there if you're interested. Otherwise, you can follow me or follow us here at the CranKy Ducklings. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Discord. We are all over the place. We announce whenever we go live, and we will be going live on a daily basis here this week with plenty of StarCraft ahead of you. Asher, tomorrow we continue our dream hack casting. Dream hack. For those who are wondering, tomorrow we're going to be continuing our DreamHack coverage of Group Stage 2. DreamHack Atlanta, there were a lot. The majority of the games that were played were not casted to the public. They were played off stream, and that's a travesty. So we're doing our best to find some highlight matches, some quality matches that weren't broadcasted, and we're going to bring them live to you tomorrow. Be sure to
There you go. So always more StarCraft in the wings.
Always. With that, Asher, do you have anything you want to say before you head off for the night?
If you have the spirit, then you don't need to have soul anymore. Just give it away.
Just give it away, Poppy. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We will see you guys tomorrow in less than 24 hours.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.